Ghalib wrote about stories that soothe the mind, and today across the border, those soothing tales are all Pakistan has left. Operation Sindoor exposed the truth on the battlefield. India struck hard, struck smart, and broke the terror infrastructure that threatened our people. Our Chief Marshal A. Singh did not trade in fantasies. He laid out cold operational facts. Multiple enemy airbases hit, hangars and runways damaged, radars and command notes degraded, and high-value aircraft destroyed on the ground. Pakistan's loud counterclaims amount to stories made for domestic ears. They offer no proof while our forces have shown the damage. This was not random violence. It was a clear, limited campaign with a defined aim: to neutralize the tools of terror and restore deterrence. Within days, the enemy asked for a ceasefire for those who seek strength without needless escalation. Operation Sindoor stands as a lesson: plan well, act precisely, and stop when goals are met. As Chief Marshal Amanpreet Singh has put the record straight, Operation Sindoor was a tightly planned and effectively executed campaign that struck at Pakistan's ability to wage war and sponsor terror, and the results are unmistakable. India destroyed between 13 to 14 Pakistani aircraft, including a significant number of US-made F-16s and Chinese-made J-17s, and these losses were not abstract. They were physical, concrete, and concentrated in three major airbases where large hangars were hit and collapsed: at Jacobabad, Bolari, and Sukur. Imagery and assessments point to wreckage inside those hangars, and one large aircraft, possibly an AWNC, was found under the collapsed roof at Bolari, showing that Pakistan lost not only fighters but also valuable airborne surveillance assets that served as their eyes and ears in the sky. Beyond aircraft, the IAF chief confirmed that radars were degraded at multiple locations. Command and control centers were disrupted, runways were damaged, and the surface-to-air missile system was completely neutralized. All effects that blunt an adversary's situational awareness and their ability to coordinate and sustain air operations. In short, the enemy's capacity to find, track, and fight was significantly reduced, and that combination of losses explains why within hours Pakistan was forced to sue for a ceasefire. This is the operational fact that Pakistani propaganda cannot bury with loud claims and unverified stories. Air Chief Marshal Singh called those counterclaims Manohar Kahaniyan, stories that make good copy at home but have no basis in verifiable evidence. And he rightly challenged them to produce proof, because in modern warfare, evidence is everything, and in this case, Pakistan offered none. While India has documented its outcomes, the campaign was not launched for show. It had a clear political and military objective to punish and degrade the infrastructure used to mount terror attacks like the Pahalgam atrocity that killed innocent civilians, to remove safe havens and sanctuaries, and to restore deterrence. Our forces achieved that objective very quickly with integrated action across three services: precise airstrikes, coordinated land operations, and targeted use of defensive and offensive assets. And once the objectives were met, the political decision was to stop. That restraint is a sign of discipline, not weakness, and it is why this operation stands apart from other drawn out conflicts. The chief pointed out that this is a model: identify the threat, target the infrastructure, inflict decisive damage, and halt before escalation becomes open-ended. And within 80 to 90 hours, that is exactly what India did. Further, the report that our air defense systems engaged and downed enemy fighters underscores that this campaign was two-way. India struck deep, and India defended its skies effectively when required. The claim that an S-400 system engaged and brought down a high-value airborne target at a range of 300 kilometers is confirmed, and it marks a significant long-range defensive effect and would explain how Pakistani lost its airborne early warning capability without having time to respond. The practical result of all this was tactical shock and a strategic paralysis on the other side, and it forced Pakistan into damage control narratives that substitute fantasy for fact. Such narratives are familiar. After setbacks, Pakistan has historically offered tales of victory to keep domestic morale intact, but victory claims demand verification and evidence. When Air Chief Marshal Singh asked for pictures of Indian bases destroyed or hangars hit on our soil, Pakistan could not produce any. That silence tells its own story. The operation also demonstrated the decisive role of political will. The government empowered the military to act and the forces delivered. Clear direction, timely intelligence, precision weapons and brave execution combined to produce results without the open-ended violence of other conflicts. The campaign underscored a simple truth: capability backed by resolve restores deterrence. For viewers and citizens, the lesson is clear. When India is threatened, it will respond with calibrated force. It will show evidence of its actions and it will not indulge in gratuitous escalation. Operation Sindoor set a standard: act with purpose, hit the targets, protect civilians to the extent possible and halt once the mission is accomplished. Pakistan's rosy stories cannot change the operational facts on the ground. Our forces have proven their skill and their restraint, and the world ought to note that credibility, evidence and disciplined force will determine outcomes in modern conflicts, not empty boasts.